Jeffrey Epstein winning the lottery is sketchier than I thought. Let me give you these facts. Let's start with the dates. The winning ticket was drawn, it was Powerball, July 2nd, 2008. 2008 was a year for Jeffrey. Why? Because he was sentenced on his first conviction there, where he got that sweetheart deal in Palm Beach. He didn't even have to go to prison. He instead just had to go to the jail. It was 18 months. Acosta said he was intelligence. That's why he was getting the sweetheart deal for the crime, even though no one had ever heard of only an 18-month sentence for this type of crime. But you might add, let's talk about the dates of his sentencing. He was sentenced June 30th, 2008. And when did he report to jail? July 1st. Oh, and then Powerball was drawn July 2nd, and he seems to win it. It's going to get even crazier here, or raise a few more red flags. So obviously this led me to a few questions. I was like, when did he purchase the ticket? Well, they can't actually figure that out. Or at least when I was talking to the multiple AI sources, nobody could give me a definitive date on the purchase date of the ticket, which I thought was a bit weird because that seems like something that would be very easily findable. They did, however, give me the fact that Bryce Gordon is the person purchasing the ticket. So I was like, who is Bryce Gordon? Bryce Gordon worked for Zorro Ranch, which was Jeffrey Epstein's ranch in New Mexico. What was his background? He was a New Zealand military operative that then went on to work for Jeffrey Epstein and handled his ranch. Just bear with me a moment. We're going to keep going. In August, the $30 million Powerball was claimed by the Zorro Ranch Trust, which was set up, I think, in the 90s by Jeffrey Epstein. Jeffrey Epstein was the owner of this trust. It was for the ranch. It was created for that ranch, that property in New Mexico. Just hold on. Let's keep going. But apparently this Bryce Gordon was also a trustee, so he was able to pick up the winning $30 million under the trust. Now you might ask, where did he pick this up, right? Because some states you can't do this anonymously, and New Mexico is one of them. And how the lottery works, I found out today, is it's all predicated on where you purchased the ticket. So that state's laws and rules apply. So, New Mexico was a Powerball state. I did look that up. And you know what? Texas, the state next door, also a Powerball state. And that allows some anonymity. It does. But not as much as Oklahoma, the next state over. In 2007, Oklahoma passed a law that allowed trusts and the most anonymous, anonymity stuff for the lottery. So, interesting. Where in Oklahoma was this purchased? Atlas. Atlas? What's that? There's an Air Force base there. So this guy that ran Zorro Ranch drove 6.5 hours from New Mexico. Presumably, I'm making some assumptions here. I am. Through the state of Texas, and then through a little bit of Oklahoma to get to Atlas. I think that's how you say it. To buy the lottery ticket. When his boss was in jail for 18 months, and he had just reported to jail. And you bought the ticket? If I buy the ticket, am I giving the lottery money to my boss? Because you're putting it in your boss's trust. Weird. And 2 days before Jeffrey Epstein died in prison, years later in 2019, he changed the terms of one of his trusts. What did he change it to? It gave this Gordon guy, Bryce Gordon, $2 million upon his death. Oh, and nobody can seem to find Bryce Gordon today. He's off the grid. I need to know what you guys all think in the comments. Is this time traveling? Is this remote viewing? Is this seeing into the future? Or is this money laundering with the government and the lottery?